Hey guys, how you doing? This is Coach Scott with Purple Wave Chemistry. Let's go to our next little lesson, if you would, on how to write the name from the formula of an ionic compound. Alright, so I've got a couple of samples right here. Let's see. I've got Li and O. Okay, so what am I going to do first? One is a metal and a non-metal. Let's find it. So lithium is right here. Okay, it's right here. It's a metal. It's in group one. And O, of course, is oxygen. All right, and it's a non-metal. It's in group 6A. So I look right there, and of course 6A, boom, is always going to be -2. So that's my next little thing. All right, I've got to write this down. Lithium, the name lithium, and I'm looking at my periodic table to do that. So lithium is over here. Okay, lithium is over here with in group 1A. Okay, so it's only going to have one charge, so I don't have to worry about any type of Roman numeral or anything. And then of course oxygen, if I wrote down oxygen, I'd be wrong, because it's not oxygen now, it's now an ion, which means I drop the Gen off and are at oxide. IDE, IDE, there we go again. Okay, let's look at the next one. I got Ba and I. Well, look over here, I see Ba is in group 2A down at the very bottom. I look at the name, and Ba stands for barium. I just happen to know it because, well, I'm good like that. So since it's in group A, I can know that it will only have one charge. Don't have to worry about any type of Roman numerals. I look for I. Oh yeah, it's iodine. But I want the ion for iodine, which was iodide. Barium iodide. Iodide. Okay? That's the name. Not that hard. Al and Cl. Look over at my periodic table and I see that Al is aluminum. That's a metal, and Cl is a non-metal. It's chlorine, right? So I'll write down aluminum. And I see on my my note-taking periodic table, that aluminum only has one charge. It's only a +3. That would make sense. AlCl3. So now I just have to write the name for the chlorine ion, which is chloride. IDE. That lets me know that it is a ion. So we're good to go. That's all you have to do with those. It's not that hard. Ooh, here we go. SN. We got to find SN. Ooh, I just got it on my periodic table. SN is 10. Ooh. 10 is not in one of those nice little, in fact, it's what we call a transition metal. You can call it an outer transition metal. And I look on my little note chart, and I see it can be +2 or +4. So now we've got to think a little bit. What's Br? Okay, I find it. It's in group 7A, so it is bromine. Bromine. Of course, we're not going to use bromine. We're going to call it bromide. Bromide. Now, bromine has a -4. -1. So I've got 4 -1 charges. That means 10 has to have a +4 charge. Since 10, if I look at my little note-taking sheet, it can be +2 or +4. That means I've got to put some Roman numerals here to let us know what ion this 10 is. So this would be 10,4 bromide. 10,4 bromide. So I'm looking over here at my FeS. I look up Fe. Ooh, that's iron again. I can write that down. I'm going to go ahead and write down iron. And then my S, well, that's sulfur. Well, it's not sulfur, of course. It's sulfide. Alright, sulfide. Got the UR and the IDE. So that lets me know this is an ion. So I know sulfur underneath oxygen has got a -2 charge. So I've got one -2 charge. That would mean, what would be the charge for iron? Well, it would have to be a +2 to give that charge balance of 0. So I look over on my little periodic table where I took notes, and I see that Fe can be plus 2 or plus 3, which means I've got to put a Roman numeral for iron 2 sulfide. Iron 2 sulfide. So that gives us some good examples of simple binary ionic compounds where there's a metal and a non-metal. All right. If there's a metal and a group 7A or group 6A non-metal, just put the names down and drop the whatever's at the end of the anion or the non-metal, add IDE. Now, if they're a transition metal, somewhere in the middle, right? In group 3A, 4B, 5B, 6B, 7B, 8B, 9B, 10B, 1B, 2B, you may have to use a periodic table. That's what I said. Write these down on this periodic table so you have some notes, so you know which ones are have multiple charges, right? Those you have to use a Roman numeral so you know what the charge is in that particular formula. Several of these transition metals that are below that heavy line, right, will have multiple charges. So there you're going to have to use a Roman numeral so we know what we've got. Okay? Write these down. You can use this and it's quite okay. So other than that, that's the only time you have to use a Roman numeral. And when you see a Roman numeral in a name, that really helps you out as far as knowing what the cation charge is. Okay? Of course, the anion charge, and they are what they are. So anyway, this is Coach Scott. Hopefully you got a little something out of this. This is writing the name from a formula for an ionic compound. Everything but the polyatomics, which we'll do in another video. Thank you so much, and guys, have a great evening. Coach Scott saying, ta-ta for now.